A complex number is a number that can be written in the form a plus bi, where a and b are both real numbers and I is the imaginary unit. So if you had a real number, that can be written in the complex form because real numbers are in the complex number system. But b would have to be some very specific real number for this complex number to be real only. And so the coefficient of the imaginary unit would have to be 0, because that means there is no imaginary unit part. There's just a real number part, a. If you had a number that was purely imaginary, it had no real number part, then a would have to be something specific, and b could not be something specific. So b could not be 0, because that means there's no imaginary unit part, and that wouldn't be imaginary, now would it? And so a would have to be 0, meaning there's no real number part, there's just the imaginary unit part with some coefficient that's not 0. And so if we're going to add or subtract complex numbers, then really what we're doing is getting rid of the parenthesis and combining like terms. So if you have a complex number plus another complex number, and you know this is addition because there's a plus sign there, then you just remove the parentheses and you add the a plus c, the real number part, and the b plus d, imaginary unit part. You just combine the numbers in front, and that's it. And it will be written in the a plus bi form when you're finished. But if you're subtracting, you see there's a subtraction sign between the complex numbers, then you remove the parentheses by distributing the subtraction, right? So it'll be a minus c, a minus di. And then you just combine the real number parts, a minus c, and then you combine the coefficients of the imaginary unit part. And your final answer will be written in the a plus bi form. So really, to add or subtract complex numbers, just combine like terms. Add or subtract as indicated, and simplify if possible. We'll always write in the form a plus bi. So for example a, I can see there's a plus sign between these two complex numbers, so I'm going to get rid of the parentheses. And then I'm going to combine like terms. So for the real number part, 5 plus 4 is 9. And for the imaginary number part, I have 2 i's minus 3 i's. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1 i's altogether. And that's written in the a plus bi form. For b, I have subtraction. I see there's a subtract sign, so I'm going to distribute that subtraction. Minus 2 minus, so plus I, change that sign. And then real numbers, just a negative 2. So that's all I have for the real number part. And I have like terms for the imaginary unit. 6i plus 1i is 7i altogether. And that's written in the a plus bi form. For c, I see there's subtraction, so I'm going to just remove the parentheses on the first complex number. And then I'm going to make sure that, well, there's no distribution because there's only one term here. I just change that sign to plus 3. So let's combine the real numbers. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. And then the imaginary number doesn't have anything to combine with, so it stays as it is. And that's written in the a plus bi form.